The same $5,000 of credit card debt can cost you $8,000 or it can cost you $14,000. Same card, same interest rate, same first payment. If you paid a credit card minimum in the last 30 days, you have already picked one of those two. Nobody told you which one. There is a single number on your statement that decides it. It is not the interest rate and it is not the balance. I am going to show you exactly which line it is. But first you need to see why they built it this way. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So let's put a real number on the table. $5,000 sitting on a credit card. We will say the rate is 24% a year. Go check yours. It is printed on your statement and it might be higher. 24% a year is 2% a month because 24 divided by 12 is 2, and that is genuinely the hardest math in this entire video. Month 1. 2% of $5,000 is $100. That is your interest. It happened while you were asleep. You did not buy anything. Now the minimum payment. Most cards work out the minimum the same way. 1% of what you owe plus that month's interest. 1% of $5,000 is $50. 50 plus 100 is $150. That is your minimum. You pay it. You feel responsible. You should. Paying it is genuinely better than not paying it. Here is what your $150 actually did. 100 of it went to interest. 50 of it touched the debt. Your balance is now $4,950. That is the entire trick, and we are 4 minutes from the end of it. You did not pay a bill. You paid a subscription. You are subscribed to owing money. It renews on the same day every month. The price goes up when you are not looking, and there is no cancel button anywhere in the app. Now watch what happens when you keep doing exactly what you are told. Every month, the same two things happen. The interest gets paid off. Then 1% of the balance gets paid off, which means your balance falls by 1% a month, not 1% of the original $5,000, 1% of whatever is left, so it shrinks slower, and then slower, and then slower than that. Month 12, you have paid in about $1,700. Your balance is $4,432. Read that again, because it is the most expensive sentence in this video. $1,700 left your bank account over a year. The debt went down by $568. Year 5, you have now paid about $6,800. That is more than you ever borrowed. You still owe $2,736, and the balance finally hits zero somewhere around 19 and a half years from the day you started. Total paid in, about $13,900 to borrow $5,000. I ran that month by month in a spreadsheet, so can you. 2% of the balance plus 1% of the balance over and over. There's no trick in it and no hidden fee. It is just the formula working exactly as designed for 2 decades. Okay, the number. It is the minimum payment itself, not how big it is. The fact that it gets smaller, that is the design. As you pay the card down, the minimum shrinks with it, so you never feel the debt getting lighter. The payment always feels survivable, which is precisely why it lasts 19 years. A payment that shrinks as fast as your balance is not a payment plan. It is a treadmill where somebody quietly turns the speed down every time you start to gain ground. So you stay exactly where you are forever, feeling fine about it. Nobody is going to jail for this. It is on the statement. It is legal, it is disclosed, and it is calculated to the penny. It is also built by people whose job is for you to still be here in year 19. Quick and important thing. Before the good part. This is general education, not personalized financial advice. I do not know your rate, your income, your other debts, your job security, or what country taxes you. Every number here is arithmetic you can redo on your phone, not a recommendation about your life. If your situation is genuinely on fire, a nonprofit credit counseling service will look at your actual numbers for free, and that is worth more than any video. Now, the fix. Here it is in one sentence, and it is going to sound like a letdown. Pay this month's minimum, and then pay that exact same dollar amount every single month until the card hits zero, no matter how far the minimum drops. That is it. That is the whole move. Do not increase it. Do not find extra money. Do not sell anything. Just refuse to let the number go down. Your first payment is $150 either way. Same day, same card, same amount. The difference is that in one version the payment shrinks and in the other version it does not. Let's fork it. 1 year in, the two paths are almost identical. On the minimum, you owe $4,432. Frozen at $150, you owe $4,329. $100 apart after a year of doing it right. That is why nobody does this. Year one is not a story you tell at a party. 5 years in, they are not the same universe. On the minimum path, you have paid $6,800, and you still owe $2,700. On the frozen payment, you have been debt-free for 5 months. Total paid, about $8,300, and you are done. 4 years and 7 months instead of 19 and a half years. About $5,500 that stayed yours. And 20 years in, where the minimum path is just barely finishing, the frozen path has 15 extra years on the other side of it. 15 years of $150 a month going anywhere else. That is $27,000, and that is with the money sitting in a shoebox doing nothing. I am assuming zero growth, zero interest, zero cleverness. Just the payment you were already making pointed at your own life instead of at a bank's quarterly results. Now the honest part, because this does not work for everyone. It does not work if you keep spending on the card. Freezing your payment while adding new purchases is just a more organized way of standing still. The card has to be closed to new spending for any of this math to be real. It does not work if the frozen number is a number you cannot actually pay. If $150 a month means your rent is late, then $150 is the wrong number. Pick a number you can hold every single month for years, because a payment you break in month 4 is worse than a smaller one you never miss. And if you have several cards, the order matters, and that is a different conversation with different math. Now the objection I already know you have, because I had it too. Why not just pay the minimum and put the difference somewhere it grows? Look at what you would be racing. Paying this card down is a guaranteed 24% a year, because every dollar you do not owe is a dollar that stops charging you 2% a month. Guaranteed. Not projected, not average, not historically. There is nothing in ordinary personal finance that reliably beats 24%, and anything that claims it will is selling you something with a very quiet second page. The other objection is your credit score, and this one is good news. A big part of your score is how much of your available credit you are using. Paying the balance down pushes that number down, which generally helps. Shredding the card does not help, and closing it can actually hurt by shrinking your available credit. Put it in a drawer. A drawer is free. So, this week, 3 things and none of them cost money. 1. Open your statement and find 2 numbers, your interest rate and this month's minimum payment. Write them down. Most people have never once looked at the rate on the card they are actively paying. 2. Set up an automatic payment for the exact amount of this month's minimum as a fixed dollar figure, not as the minimum. That is one drop-down on almost every banking app, and it is the entire strategy. 3. Take the card out of your phone's wallet, out of your browser's saved payments, and out of the subscriptions you have pointed at it. The math only works on a balance that has stopped growing. That is it. No side hustle, no budget spreadsheet with 40 tabs, one fixed number that refuses to shrink. Because the same $5,000 of credit card debt can cost you $8,000 or $14,000. Same card, same rate, same first payment. The only difference is whether you cancel the subscription